Greetings, my dear friends. So C-Day is finally here. The first slot is done. The morning slot has been completed. We're going to discuss the morning slot. This is the analysis. Slot 1, morning slot, 8:30 to 10:30. Now, let's first talk about the overall paper. The paper was, in general, slightly tougher than last year. The number of questions has remained the same. The question mix has changed slightly. In the VARC section, we had 24 questions. In the LRDI section, we had 20 questions. And in the quant section, we had 22 questions. That adds to a total of 66. 40 minutes of time per section. That adds to a total of 120 minutes or 2 hours. The VARC section was an overall medium to tough. It was tougher and slightly lengthier than last year's paper. The LRDI section was tough, as expected. It was slightly tougher than last year's paper, the 2021 CAT. The quant section was a kind of a mixed bag. Some people found it tougher, some people found it somewhat easier, but in general, the lean is towards a slightly more tough paper than last year as compared to last year. But overall, the difficulty of the quant section was medium, moderate. The paper overall, the exam, the first slot overall was medium to tough, and it is generally considered by students to be slightly tougher than last year. In comparison to last year, it is slightly tougher. Let's talk about the first section in detail. Talking about reading comprehension first, we had, as we've discussed, the same number of questions. So 4 questions per passage, 4 passages, that's 16 questions. The RC subsection was moderate to difficult. Moderate to difficult because of 2 reasons. First, the passages were somewhat lengthier than previous years or the previous year. Second, the passages were also a little more complex. There were 2 easy passages, easy to medium passages. In terms of language, there were 2 passages which were tough. Most of the students have attempted 2 to 3 passages. The one passage that most everyone has attempted was about the undead. Yes, zombies in CAT. That's the first, but here we are. So basically, it was about how various cultures name their undead. What is their origins? What are the how have these forms evolved? Another passage which many students have attempted is about miniaturization, how Chinese culture in particular and some other cultures, they preserve their heritage, their history by making miniatures of certain constructions, buildings, historical places, heritage sites, etc., etc. Other than this, there was one passage on history, which was quite lengthy. And there was one passage on psychology, which had rather tough jargon-based language. So in general, students have opted not to attempt those passages, but some might have done it. For the sake of percentile, let's say that it is quite understandable that cutoffs would be relaxed from last year. There are 2 reasons for that. The first reason is for this subsection, where we find that the paper is tougher and lengthier as compared to last year. Passages were a little bit more complex, little bit more difficult, tedious to read. So we would see the balancing out in terms of the percentile cutoff figures for this section. There's another reason. We'll see that in the VA section. Let's talk about that. The VA subsection had the same number of questions. There were 3 summary questions. The summary passages were not lengthy, but they were rather complex, dense language. And so there has been less number of attempts among most students in this particular subtopic. The odd man out questions, interestingly, have been removed. There were 3 parajumble questions. These were 4-liner parajumble questions, but there were 2 questions of a new type. The CAT this year, interestingly, did not feature the odd man out or the odd statement out type question. There was a question which many people have misunderstood as being fill in the blanks, but these were not fill in the blanks. A statement was given. Against that, in the options, there were opinions. There were 4 opinions given, and the task of the question was to see which opinion was the closest to the given statement, to the question statement. So this was an exercise which was very close to critical reasoning. as a topic as compared to parajumbles. It's very interesting because this is a new topic introduced into the VA mix after a long time. The number of TETA questions were 3. These two new questions, they did not come as a TETA format because they had opinions, they had statements in the answer options. So clearly they were of the MCQ format. So we had, out of 8 questions total, we had 5 MCQs and 3 TETA questions. TETA questions, of course, being the ones where you wouldn't have negative marking if you got them wrong. The difficulty of this section was moderate to hard. Now, that is another reason, because a new question type has been introduced. That is another reason why it is expected that the percentile figures as compared to last year would be relaxed a little bit this year. But more of this as we as we reach the end of the analysis. So I'll hand over the screen to Jayanta sir, who will walk us through the LRDI section, and then he will hand it over to Avinash sir, who will talk us through the quant section and the final thoughts on percentile figures, etc. Over to you, my friends.
Good morning, students. I am here, Jayanto Shah from Erudite, Kolkata. This is our analysis for LRDI segment of slot 1 for CAT 2022. Now, this year, the number of questions, it is remaining same, which is 20 as last year. But here we can see that 4 sets, all are 5 questions each, it has appeared. And due to that reason, it is 20 number of questions. Level of difficulty, I can say that it is tougher, but students need to make a proper choice. Choice of sets is very important. Here, some of the sets that I got idea from students, that in this case, out of these 4 sets, one of the set is network diagram. One of the set is network diagram, and that LR based network diagram, and that particular set was comparatively possible for the students, those who have gone through this network, ABC and the path distances, like that it has been given. So that was a doable set. One of the set that it appeared in the segments of sports and game. Sports and game. Here, some goals and tables, this way it has been given. Again, if they have, the students have this idea about sports and game, it is also possible. But there are some other sets also. One other sets in DI segment it has appeared, but I can't say it is directly DI. There are lots of things, like it is LR mixed up. And here some percentages, and probably in these segments, whatever the input I got it, that is nothing but it is a Venn diagram kind of thing. It is this particular set, and it is one of the top set that students, they can do it if they have a proper knowledge about this Venn diagram and percentages. Another set, it is LR, pure LR, but the arrangement and these all informations given there are not that much easy to grab. Some boys and girls, some kinds of coupons and informations it has been given. However, my main information is choice of sets. That would be very important. The students, those who need to do this, prepare this, they have to go with this, all of the types. That's the requirement. It is slightly tougher than 2021. It is our first cut informations.
Hello everyone, my name is Avinash. On the behalf of the Erudite, I am come up with the CAT 2022 slot 1 quantitative part analysis. So this year we got 22 questions. Last year also we got 22 questions in the quantitative aptitude part, which is as similar. This year also we got 22 questions. The higher weightage is gone to the arithmetic. We got 8 questions from the arithmetic. Then we got algebra, 5 questions, 3 questions from geometry. Number system, we got 2 questions. Higher maths, we got 2 questions. And there were 2 questions for miscellaneous topics. So in the arithmetic, guys, there are, we got questions from time, speed, and distance. 1 question. And that was, a difficult one. We got a question from SI and CI. Although it was not a direct question. Ratio and proportion were involved in this question, and percentage was also involved. But it was an easy question. It can be easily doable. There are a handsome number of the question from the mixture and alligation. Also, we have few questions from average. they were, moderate level, so they can be doable. This year, what is important that this year we didn't get any time and work question. No time and work. As compared to the previous year, guys, previous year no question from the number system. But this year we got 2 questions from number system. This year we got 3 questions from geometry and mensuration. And they were moderate level question, can be doable easily. And higher maths we got few questions from permutation and combination. No question from probability this year. So overall, guys, the questions were not that much difficult with comparison to the previous year. I marked them as a slightly easier with comparison to 2021 math section. Now come up with the next slide. In this slide, I have given you the score ranges for 99 percentile. A student, if he is wishing to get 99 percentile, then this is my cutoff for 99 percentile. This year the VA and RC was not easy one. It's a lengthy and the difficult one. So we have set a range of the score as a 39 to 42 for the 99 percentile. LRDI again tricky and lengthy. No direct question from the DI. More or less, all the 4 sets are, LRO involved. So we have decreased this range with comparison to the previous year and set up a range as a 31 to 34. Quantitative aptitude was easy with comparison to the previous year. So we have increased its range and we have set up its range as a 38 to 41. Overall, the cutoff more or less will be in this range of 102 to 105 for 99 percentile. I hope so that it is clear to everyone. We come up with a slot 2 and slot 3 analysis also. So be in touch with us. Thank you very much.